way to go over there. And here we go. These Marines are going to get taken out as they drop one by one quite easily by these mutas. Yep, there we go. And the dropship is going to die as well. And there we go. The mutas are doing quite a good job against that drop. At least intention of drop from Tarson. And Tarson is dropping over here. He stims without even noticing, without even scouting this. I suppose he thought there was an expansion over here, but there wasn't. And here we have Darkforce trying to harass a little bit with his Mutalisk. And these Marines are actually moving across the map into the gold expansion. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Darkforce, yep, indeed he has 2 gold, doesn't he? Yep, here we go, and 2 spine crawlers back there as well. So 2 gold expansions for the Zerg player. Now this is a lot of mineral income, although he lost all these drones here, except these, which I think transited from some other position. But he lost all his drones. Now that's a pretty big big loss over there. So let's see what the Terran player is going to do right now. So Tarson is moving across the map, or yep. It seems like he wants to be moving, or he's just setting a bit of a more forward position. A lot of siege up tanks over here, and I hear some Marines attacking. Oh, and a Nidus Worm over here. Yep, there we go. And a few Zerglings and Banelings coming out of this one, but probably not going to be able to do that much damage. But it is going to displace most of Tarson's army, and these mutas can actually have a clear shot at these tanks over here. Nothing really preventing them. All the Marines went back. There's just 1 turret up, and the tanks aren't sieging right now. Let's see how many tanks the mutas will manage to take out. So that's 1, 2, 3 tanks, 4, 5. That's really good over there from Darkforce. Forcing Tarson, or making Tarson move his Marine army back, and he got a clear shot at those tanks right there. Very nice. He didn't lose any Mutalisk. He lost his Nidus Worm and a few Zerglings, but of course that's not really something you have to worry about. I really like what Darkforce did right here, and his 5th base is indeed done over here. And let's see if he does decide to go for these peripheral hatcheries, these peripheral expansions. Probably gonna take this one since there's no rocks that need to be taken down, and then opting for this one. I have to say, actually, I'm being a little bit erroneous right now. He seems to be taking this one, which means that he is on. This is his 6th base. And that's a lot of unit production, and that's a lot of income, and a lot of Mutalisk indeed. These Marines are very weak indeed. If they do decide to actually stim back a bit more, these mutas can actually go in there and try to clean them up. I'm just gonna check a little bit on. So 1-1 upgrades right now for the Zerg player, and Darkforce seems to be he seems to care about map control mostly right now. He's flying around, making sure that there's no funny stuff going on from the Terran. Seems like Darkforce is satisfied with, and he needs to be careful right here so he doesn't lose too many mutas. He needs to be satisfied with having map control and starving the Terran player out slowly. Here we have Tarson trying to take down these rocks over here, and let's see what these mutas do. They will take out these marauders as they have no, but nice reflexes there, a nice stim from Tarson, and the mutas are taking their shots at those. And this is pretty standard, I would say, pretty standard for today's standard Mutalisk, Zergling, Baneling, and a few roaches thrown into the mix as well. And here we have all these Zerglings morphing into Banelings, so it's going to be a pure. Oh, and he needs to be careful over here. It all depends on these Banelings, and if they manage to actually take all this infantry out. There's a lot of infantry right here, and let's see if they can actually hold off these Banelings. Now this is gonna be interesting. Let's see. No, and Darkforce decides to move back as he sees the surprise factor is no longer in play, and I think that was a little bit overkill over there. And this is gonna go down indeed. So Darkforce is being very thorough, and he's taking out all that he can, all the expansions that he can. And here we go, another Nidus Worm popping in this corner of the map, and these Zerglings are taking the. Oh, and this is actually researching weapons level 3. It doesn't get cancelled. So the upgrade, oh, that is really, really nasty over there. And so that upgrade didn't get cancelled. Lost a bunch of money over there. And these Zerglings are actually gonna take down this command center if there's no repair gonna be going on. And the command center, the orbital command actually does go down. And wow, a really nice Nidus Worm usage there from Darkforce. But the Terran player seems quite pissed right now. He's moving across the map with most of his units, if not all of his units, except for what remains back here, the extra production. And he's sieging at the center of the map, trying to get a foothold right here. And let's see how the Zerg player is going to handle this. There is so many Bailings. I mean, look at this. These are actually getting produced right now, plus the already existing Bailings. So the Mutas, let's see what the Mutas do. If they're actually going to move in there for the kill. And here we go. And these Overlords are probably going to try dropping on top as well. Tanks going down, bunch of tanks going down. The Mutas are taking their shots at the Marines. And these Overlords are moving in with all these Bailings inside. And let's see if they actually manage to pull the drop off. And they need to turn back right now. They need to turn back. And that is not... I don't agree with this. I don't really agree with this. He should just drop on top. And... oh, that is a quite big blunder by Darkforce. I don't know why he just stationed... even if he did lose 1 or 2 Overlords, just attack with his Mutalisk and then drop on top with the rest of his... with the rest of his Overlords that had Bailings inside. But this is a lot of Mutalisk actually. Although those tanks are gonna do a lot of damage, this expansion gets taken out. And these Mutas are trying to go from behind, flank the tanks. They do take out 2 tanks. And these Marines are stimming all the time. And Darkforce is trying to get as many shots off as possible on these Marines, so they can actually so he can actually thin their numbers. But let's see, these Marines are stimmed again. And they are quite weak right now, but not too many Mutas remaining. And these Marines get intercepted. They're all dying really. And the once so scary Terran force doesn't look so scary right now. And these Mutas should move in here right now. Let's see if Darkforce is seeing this, and he has a bunch more Mutalisk. And let's see if he moves in there. He should be moving on the tanks. There we go. And no, these tanks actually very weak right now. I don't know. Darkforce should consider taking them out. 2 very low on HP tanks over here, and this he doesn't really want to lose this as well. I really don't think he does. And Tarson actually missing out on this one. I think if he just pushed over here, he could take this out quite easily. And wow, Darkforce is still expanding all over the place, though. I mean. He doesn't seem to be stopping at all. But let's see what actual mining he has. I'm just gonna take a look at this. So Darkforce still on 46 harvesters over Tarson's 25, and yeah, this Nidus Worm over here caused a lot of damage for Tarson, and yep, really kudos to Darkforce for pulling that one off. And we have Darkforce moving across the map with his Mutas, trying to defend this over here, but there's not that much to defend really. Just 2 lone Marines trying to do a bit of damage over there. And he's actually ahead on, quite ahead, I mean a lot ahead, not quite ahead, on resources. So Tarson is going to have to make something happen over here. He has a lot of Marines, and if he catches these Mutas with all his Marines stemmed up, that's going to spell trouble for Darkforce. But Darkforce is being really careful with his Mutalisk and is trying to get as many shots off. And there we go, another tank going down. The whole army getting stemmed again. And Darkforce is just harassing with these Mutas extremely well, I have to say. This is really wonderful harassment, really wonderful control of those Mutalisk. And Tarson is sieging up again, trying to take out this this expansion over here. And this is really what you want to do as Terran, just methodically take out expansions. And it's really hard for him to actually defend all these siege tanks. One volley from all these Mutas and tanks go down. Oh, and this is a lot of Bailings. So this is a lot of Bailings. If he manages to get these Bailings inside this cluster of units over here, this is pretty much GG for Tarson. He will lose his entire army. I would actually... oh, he needs to be careful with those. But an Overlord drop with Banelings on top of this infantry ball over here is basically just gonna eradicate all of them. And let's see if he's gonna try and do that or just move in the old-fashioned way, just straight head-on action. And Darkforce is still being very careful. I'm just going to check his resources right now. So 600 gas. Wondering if this is going to make more mutas. No, 10 banelings. 10 more banelings on the way. And Tarson doesn't look good at all right now. This expansion is mined out. This is his only real mining expansion. He has a quite impressive army, but he's not really mining from anything. Oh, but a lot of mutals getting taken out over there. That is really a blunder over there from Darkforce. He lost like 6 or 7 mutalisks over there. That's really nasty. And Tarson is just moving with this just scary ball of infantry and mech units and medevacs across the map. And he's getting minerals still, so he's just making a lot of marines. A lot of marines, and they do have level 2 weapons and level 1 armor, so I'm not exactly sure if Darkforce is prepared for this. There we go, another tank going down. These marines are moving in, and 2 more mutas going down. Wow, this is really not good. All these drones having to relocate, and I'm quite sure this hatchery can go down. But Darkforce is being really careful with these banelings. He knows that Tarson isn't mining. He knows this, so he just wants to be extremely careful. All he cares about is detonating these banelings into this